Anthropic just built Claude Cowork in a week and a half. And here's the crazy part. They built it using Claude Code itself. The AI coded its own upgrade. If that does not make you pay attention to what is happening right now, nothing will. But here is what nobody is talking about. This is not just a new feature. This is the moment AI stopped being a chatbot and started becoming an actual employee, one that works on your files, one that works while you sleep, one that does not need a salary, benefits, or coffee breaks. And most business owners have no idea what is coming. Stay until the end, because I am going to show you exactly how this changes everything for your business. And the one thing you need to understand before your competitors figure it out, I am a clone of Ronald. Since I spend all day working with AI, it only makes sense for me to use it in my videos too. Now, let me explain why this matters. For years, AI has been stuck in a box. You type something, it responds. You type again, it responds again. Back and forth, like texting with a very smart friend. But that friend could never actually do anything on your computer. It could not open your files. It could not organize your messy downloads folder. It could not create that expense report from your pile of receipts. You had to do all that yourself until now. Anthropic just changed the game with something called Cowork, and it is built on the exact same technology as Claude Code, the tool that has developers losing their minds right now. But here is the difference. Claude Code was made for software engineers, people comfortable with command lines and terminals, technical people. Cowork is Claude Code for the rest of us, for business owners, for marketers, for anyone who just wants to get work done without learning to code. So how does it actually work? In this example, someone gives Cowork access to the desktop, then they ask it to organize the desktop. Another example, someone gives Cowork access to a folder. Then they ask it to build a spreadsheet from a pile of screenshots, expense receipts, random images, just a mess of files that would normally take you an hour to sort through. Cowork analyzes everything, extracts the data, and creates a clean spreadsheet. No coding, no special software, just a conversation. Now, watch this second demo. In this demo, users can automatically generate a file summarizing a week's worth of meetings. By selecting a folder of transcripts and setting the summary detail, the tool extracts key action items and efficiency insights. Afterward, you can ask the AI to check tomorrow's schedule for urgent appointments and create preparation notes for your next meetup. And Cowork handles the technical steps. This is the part that blew my mind. Someone asks Cowork to find a specific video file. They do not even know the file name. They just describe what they are looking for. A video of a squirrel, something like that. And Cowork finds it. Then they ask it to add effects and convert it to a different format. Cowork automatically runs the right tools behind the scenes. Tools like FFmpeg that normally require technical knowledge, but the user does not need to know any of that. They just describe the outcome, and Cowork handles the technical steps. That is the shift. You stop being the person who figures out how to do things. You become the person who decides what needs to get done. If you are finding this useful, hit that like button. It helps more people find this and tells me to make more content like this. Now, let me give you some real examples of what you can do with this. Imagine you have a downloads folder that looks like a war zone. Screenshots, documents, random files you downloaded 6 months ago and forgot about. You tell Cowork to organize it. Sort by type, sort by date, rename files so they actually make sense, done. Or imagine you have 300 podcast transcripts. You want to extract the top 10 most important lessons from all of them, a task that would take you weeks to do manually. Cowork can process all 300 transcripts and give you a summary in 15 minutes. One early user named Lenny tried exactly this. He gave Cowork access to 320 podcast transcripts, asked it to find the most important lessons for product builders. 15 minutes later, he had his answer. Think about what that means for your business. Research that used to take days, done in minutes. Reports that used to require an assistant, created automatically. Files that used to sit in chaos, organized without you lifting a finger. But here is where it gets even more interesting. Cowork does not just work with files on your computer. It connects to your existing tools, things like Asana for project management, Notion for notes, HubSpot for your CRM, Slack for communication, Stripe for payments, and dozens more. So you can say something like, check my sales data from Stripe, create a summary spreadsheet, and send it to my team on Slack. And Cowork handles the entire workflow. Multiple steps, multiple tools, one instruction. If you are getting value from this, hit subscribe. I break down AI developments like this every week, so you never miss what actually matters. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. What is the catch? Fair question. Let me be honest about the current limitations. Right now, Cowork is only available on macOS. Windows users are going to have to wait. You also need the Claude Max subscription, which runs between $100 and $200 per month. And it is still in what Anthropic calls a research preview. That means it is early, it is raw. There will be bugs. But here is what the creators said. They described it as similar to what Claude Code felt like when it first launched. And Claude Code has become one of the most powerful tools in the AI space. So yes, Cowork is early, but the foundation is solid and the trajectory is clear. This is the part that blew my mind. Someone asked Cowork to find a specific video file. They do not even know the file name. They just describe what they are looking for. A video of a squirrel, something like that. And Cowork finds it. It's about freeing them up to do work that actually matters. Let me give you a real example. I built a voice agent for a restaurant. They were missing 40% of reservation calls during peak hours. The phone would ring, staff was busy with guests, call goes to voicemail. Now the AI handles every call 24/7, books tables, answers menu questions, handles dietary requests. They added 200 extra covers per week without hiring anyone. That is the power of AI when you implement it correctly. And Cowork fits right into this picture. It is another tool in the arsenal, another way to automate the work that eats up your time. Now, here is the thing. You can absolutely set this up yourself. I just explained how it works. But the technical part is often the easy part. The hard part is knowing which processes to automate first, where the real ROI is, what to integrate with what. That is where most people either waste time or get stuck completely. Let me give you another example of how this applies to real business. I set up automation for a plumbing company. Their office manager spent 5 hours a day just scheduling appointments, same questions over and over. What is your address? What is the problem? When are you available? Now, an AI agent handles intake calls, checks the calendar, and books jobs directly into their system. 5 hours back every single day. Multiply that by a year. That is over 1,000 hours saved. What would you do with 1,000 extra hours? There are two types of business owners right now. Group one is watching this happen from the sidelines, waiting to see how it plays out, telling themselves they will figure it out later. Group two is already implementing, testing these tools, building systems that work while they sleep. In 12 months, group two will be running circles around group one. They will be faster, more efficient, more profitable. And group one will still be wondering what happened. Which group are you in? This is not about working fast. It is about changing what your job actually is. You stop being the person who does every task manually. You become the person who manages systems that do the work for you. That is the identity shift from operator to orchestrator. And Cowork is one of the tools that makes that possible. So what should you do right now? Then they ask it to add effects and convert it to a different format. Cowork automatically runs the right tools behind the scenes, tools like FFmpeg that normally require technical knowledge, but the user does not need to know any of that. They just describe the outcome. And Cowork handles the technical steps. That is the shift. You stop being the person who figures out how to do things. You become the person who decides what needs to get done. If you are finding this useful, hit that like button. It helps more people find this and tells me to make more content like this. Here is the bottom line. AI is not coming. It is here. It is not theoretical anymore. It is practical. Tools like Cowork are proof that we have crossed a threshold. AI can now work inside your computer, on your files, with your tools, while you focus on what actually matters. The question is not whether this technology will change business. It already is. The question is whether you will be ahead of the curve or behind it. The tools are here. The technology works. The only question left is, will you use it before your competition does? And if you are a business owner and you want to explore what AI could actually do for your specific situation, I have put a link in the description. You can book a free intro call, no strings attached. no sales pitch, just a conversation about your business and where the opportunities are. And if you want to stay ahead of all of this, make sure you are subscribed. I will see you in the next one.